my gosh, Nick, you're back. Oh, hey, Alandria. Oh, you're telling me that you and Alandria are gonna test y'all's connection? Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. You know I don't like that woman. Oh, you want me to talk to Alandria? About what? For what? What's the point? You want me to be a man and be honest and reassuring to her? I don't think I have to. You know, Alandria, like, I mean, you're cool, but, you know, me and Clark are locked in. Like, I kind of want to explore things with her. Well, are me and you still cool? Well, like, me and Clark are, like, super close right now, so... I just want you to know, Clark, you in particular, that, me and you, we're locked in, okay? Alandria, I don't really give a fuck. Sierra, watch out. Sierra, watch out. Watch out. Listen, Nick Ben done told you that he's been wanting to explore, that his options are still open. He just didn't tell you who he wanted to explore with. And you about to find out soon, baby. You about to find out soon, okay? I'm gonna need you to get with that Elon person, okay? Y'all might as well lock in, because Nick, now that he has what he wants, good luck to you, girl. To all my followers, y'all are about to be sick of me. I'm letting y'all know right now, warning right now, any chance I get, I'm gonna be talking about Nick and Alandria. Any chance I get. When I tell you I'm locked in, I'm locked in. Maybe too far gone. I had a fucking dream about those two, okay? That kiss is etched into my mind, okay? I'm never gonna fucking forget it. And the thing is, I don't want to. So fair warning, once again, y'all about to be sick of me, okay? Mind the repost. All right, watch out now. Hey, babes, hey. So we're gonna have a quick little conversation. I'm not gonna hurt you. I promise you, I'm not gonna hurt you. Like the Nick and Alandria fans come in, sit down. You know, I promise I'm not going to harm you on purpose, right? But let's be realistic about something. So here's my theory about episode 22, Love Island USA season 7. Here's my theory. My theory is that the episode's gonna open with, after the high of like Alandria and Nick kissing, they're going to have like a conversation, a quick little serious conversation about their attraction and their connection to Taylor and to Sierra. I think like that conversation is going to be had. I do feel like the conversation is going to be had even more in depth about like what's happening now, right? I do feel like when Sierra comes in, Nick is going to pull her to his side. He's going to pull her as soon as he's able to do so, and he's going to tell her, hey, so me and Alandria are coupled up right now. It was either go home or couple up. So of course we coupled up. It was convenient. But to be honest with you, I do find her to be physically attractive, and I do want to explore my connection with her. And he may or may not tell her about that very juicy, steamy kiss. I'm not sure yet. I hope that he does, because I feel like he's not slimy like that to not tell her something like that. But I guess we'll just have to see and find out what happens, because once again, Sierra has been like locked down on Nick, which I personally think is stupid. I think it's stupid, but I understand why she just couldn't find a connection with the other boys. Although Elon was there, I feel like he's very much in her face about like his attraction and everything, but she's like, no, but like Nick, you know? So it is what it is. So realistically though, my thing is, who is he going to pick when it comes on to coupling? I believe coupling is tomorrow. Now, is it dumping as well? Don't know. And that's what I'm scared about, right? Is he going to stay with Alandria and can continue to explore that? Or is he going to get back with Sierra? Realistically, he's already had connection with Sierra. He's already been sexually intimate with Sierra. He's told Sierra that he may want to lock it down in the future, right? So he's already made these like quote unquote not promises, but he's made these statements to her, given her like a frame or like a thought mindset of like, oh, this could happen. Oh, we could be locked down finally. Now with Alandria, he's just told her he wants to explore the connection. Like they kiss, there's obviously physical attraction between the two, right? But is he going to be willing to give up Sierra for Alandria? Now that's key. That's something we have to think about, right? That's something we have to be realistic about. Is he going to stay or is he going to go back to Sierra? I just need you guys to be prepared for that, right? I really do. And definitely be prepared for Sierra absolutely being upset, right? Once again, this is going to be valid. Her frustration or her possible anger is going to be valid, right? Let's be honest, it's going to be valid. She would have every right to kind of freak the fuck out about it and all that. But, will love prevail, or will they think about this strategically? What's going to happen? I guess we'll have to wait and see. All right, so check this out. So Love Island's theme song is I came here for love, right? Yeah, so 5 words. I came here for love, right? So, love. Yes, not I came here for friends. Not I came here for the bare fucking minimum and crumbs. Not I came here in fear of testing my connection because of my friends, right? This is Love Island. This is not Friendship Island, okay? And I say that respectfully. Here, listen to my words. And I get it, right? I understand the fear and anxiety of like harming somebody that you call your friend and everything, but are you there to protect their heart, or are you there to find your heart? Are you there to find your soulmate, your lover, you know? Only a few more episodes and I don't know who to even vote for. Like, that's how bad this season is, and I'm so annoyed by it. Now that we've all calmed down a little bit from last night's episode and coupling up, I just want to say that Alandria is now the only vulnerable and single person right now. So she's going to have to lock the F in. She's going to have to start exploring her potential options in that villa, at least until a new bombshell comes in. The men that she never thought to explore, the men that may be locked down, she's going to have to start talking to them genuinely to see if there's even a smidge of a connection there. She had that with Nick, but unfortunately she was so focused on Taylor and he was so focused on Sierra, and they feared about what either parties could say that they gave up. I mean, they literally threw their hands up the very next morning after they kissed and gave up and said, oh, I guess we are better as friends. Alandra's a very beautiful girl, but she's not being smart right now. So I need her to lock in and be willing to piss people off in that villa. ASAP Rocky, okay? She needs to get it together. She only has a few days. People keep on saying that Nick is too sexually charged for like Olandria, and honestly I think that's bullshit, because first and foremost, Nick acts like any other guy in that villa, right? Bombshell comes in, interest is peaked, you know. They're always scared. They're quite literally all kissing up on each other, with tongue, mind you. They're always touching each other, because that's the entire point of the show, of the challenges, is to get to know each other intimately and emotionally and mentally. And yeah, like Alandria is like a, you know, slow burn type of person, but that does not mean that she's not sexually charged. Think about it. Every time there's a challenge and she's kissing somebody, she's using her tongue, she's using her body, she's rubbing up on them. She's a sexual person. Being sexually charged on Love Island is not unique to just Nick, so you guys just need to get that out of y'all's head like it's a bad thing. I'm going to just consistently reference Alandria and Nick's kiss outside of the challenge, and y'all cannot tell me that they weren't sexually attracted to each other. Y'all can. Just saying. Okay, so good morning, Nick Alandria Hive. I hope you guys are doing well. My name is Geek, and honestly, I make social commentary content all the time, and lifestyle content, and beauty content, and food content, and we're going to jump right into the whole aspect of Alandria never really taking Nick seriously, okay? So let's jump right into it. Let me get my coffee. So let's just jump right into it. What I mean by Olandria wasn't taking Nick seriously, what I'm talking about is not the fact of like taking their connection seriously, because I think that she did in a way, right? I'm saying she wasn't taking it as serious as Nick potentially was, right? She was so high focused on Taylor and had tunnel vision for Taylor that when it came down to Nick, she just wasn't really seeing it in that moment, at least. Because Nick wasn't asking for her to put like a label on things, like with them trying to explore each other. Nick was simply asking for her feelings, like her true feelings and everything. Not only that, but it's the fact that she obviously in the confessional was like connection when she was talking about her and Nick, right? And that's because she wasn't taking it seriously, y'all. With Olandria, in her mindset, like in her mind, she had already closed off with Taylor, like despite Taylor not being closed off with her. It's like with the comparison with Sierra, right? So Sierra in her mindset had already closed off with Nick, despite Nick not being closed off with her. Sierra thinking, oh, Elan is like fun and new, and I definitely might still want to get to know him. Alandria with Nick was like, oh, he's fun and he wants to get to know me on like a much deeper and mature level. But Alandria was still actively thinking about Taylor, and Sierra was still actively thinking about Nick, which is why when it came down to them exploring any further, and at least in that moment, like in those few days, it wasn't going to happen. And I know a lot of you guys are thinking, like, what is Alandria thinking? Understanding the fact that Taylor really hasn't really given her anything. It has been sprinkling things here and there and like giving her crumbs. Like, yes, Alandria had to actively tell Taylor things like, hey, I like this, I like that, can you do this, can you do that? Which is fine in regards to the beginning of them getting to know each other and exploring each other. And because she put so much effort in getting to Taylor to open up and do things for her, she truly probably thought that, hey, Clark is fun and pretty, but I've always been here. Plus, she doesn't know that Taylor does not find her physically attractive. The other day when she was talking to Taylor, she was pretty much like, oh, you never called me beautiful, but I'm like, I'm sure you feel that way about me, you know? And once again, I personally only think that Nick agreed, right, with Alandria about the whole platonic friends, not romantic thing, because he knew that his girl, Alandria, was stuck on her boy, Taylor, right? Taylor this, Taylor that, when Nick was trying to actively talk to her about what could happen. Taylor this, Taylor that, when it came down to after the kiss. Taylor this, Taylor that, when it came down to, so how are you feeling after last night's kiss? Also, food for thought, when Nick was saying, I had Sierra on the back of my mind the entire time when he told that to Alandria, of course he did. Because in that moment, when he was kissing Alandria, he felt a spark, he felt an urgency, he felt that hunger that I don't think he actually felt with Sierra. And I just need you guys not to forget that once again, 2 days before even Casamar was even a thought for the Islanders, he made it very clear to Sierra that he does like and appreciate their connection, but he is still open to exploring. Yes, he could have told her that he was open to exploring Alandria, but that's a whole nother thing. It's going to pop up either way, like in the near future. With that previous communication that Nick and Sierra had, Nick wasn't thinking about Sierra like in a very guilty or ashamed way. He was thinking of Sierra like, oh, I do wonder how she's going to feel about this. Also, I did rewatch the morning after clip of Nick and Alandria speaking after their kiss, and I was realizing that Alandria was putting a lot of words in Nick's mouth. She assumed that Nick didn't want to explore anything else romantically because of Sierra. She assumed that Nick wanted them to just be better off as friends. These are all things that she assumed that she said herself that Nick did not say. Yes, Nick did agree when it came down to the mutual decision to like just be friends and not explore anything else or not explore anything further. Like I said, pay attention to the details, y'all. In Nick's confession, he was like, yeah, we agreed with this mutually. Alandria's really focused on Taylor. Never once did he actually vocalize that he wanted to stop exploring things with Alandria, but he knew that his girl was focused on Taylor. And you know, kudos to Nick, honestly, right? He really did expect Taylor to pick Alandria. He really did expect that, right? Because he probably thought, there's no way that Taylor does not see what's in fucking front of him. There's no way that Taylor does not see what he fucking has with Alandria. So he probably didn't even question it. Even when Taylor actively told him earlier in that episode, I have a stronger connection with Clark within 24 hours than I had with Alandria. He probably didn't take it seriously because he's probably thinking that doesn't matter. He spent time with Alandria. Alandria is the bomb. He's still going to pick her despite how he feels about Clark. I mean, he was wrong, of course, but like, it's the thought that counts. And the fact that he actively, verbally vocalized and advocated for her to come back, right? And then try to make it seem like come back for Taylor just in case he changes his mind. I don't believe that for one fucking second. I think he used Taylor as a scapegoat. When he meant Taylor, he meant himself. Yeah, when he meant Taylor, he meant his fucking self. God can strike me down right now. Exactly. And because I pay attention to little details, I'm a book reader, okay? I love to read. Like, motherfucker, I grew up on Wattpad. I was born for this shit. When he helped Alandria up and his eyes softened, when he smiled at her, when he just seemed very relieved when she leaned her head on his shoulder, yeah, that meant something to me. Also, not to be a hater, but When him and Alandria got finished kissing, he's leaning back. That man was high and elevated off her lips, her mouth, her taste gall. Now, when him and Sierra reunite and they give that little welcome home kiss, to me, it didn't seem like he was putting a lot of passion in it. It seemed like it was just a little smooch on the lips, right? It seemed like that kiss was more like of being relieved that he was still there, and of course still being relieved that she's there, but it wasn't as passionate as the kiss he had literally the night before with Alandria. All right, y'all, that is the end of the video. I do appreciate you guys staying. If you did say, go ahead and follow me. And once again, give me your thoughts down below. I am very curious about how you guys feel about this breakdown. Bye. Hey, y'all, it's Geek, aka Ali. I am a social media commentator that just pretty much talks about anything and everything. No, I do not have any credentials. I'm just a yapper like y'all that has a label on it. It is about to hit 7 o'clock for me down here in Oklahoma. I only slept for 3 hours. It is what it is. I guess it's just one of those days. But honestly, I just wanted to talk to you guys about Alandria, one of our favorite ships right now, right? Listen, I love this ship down. I think it's a cute ship. I think it's a ship worth, interacting and engaging with. But the issue is, and I think that the one thing that we're not realizing is that Alandria specifically, I don't think she's used to a man chasing her. I don't think she's used to a man yearning for her, being honest with her about wanting to explore a connection, period. Nor do I think that she's used to a white man doing any of the things that I just mentioned. Any. Geek, why even bring up race? Race doesn't even make sense. Listen, race matters in this regards, right? The reason why she kept on going for Taylor and even considered Jalen at some point is because they were both black. I think it actually freaks Alandria the fuck out that Nick even was open and honest about him wanting to explore with her and about him being a secret admirer. It freaked her the fuck out. Not only because, hey, I thought we were friends, but also, hey, I know that you're really, really intimate with my girl, Sierra, but hey, I didn't realize that you liked me, a black woman like that. I don't know. She gives me not necessarily insecure or gullible, but somebody that's shocked when somebody's actively looking for her. For example, right? Episode 24, Love Island. What's his name? Elan, when he's when they're just talking, because they're two single people in a villa, they're just talking. He makes a comment about how she's sexy, right? And he's serious about it. It sounds like he's serious about it. I'm not shipping them or anything. I'm just telling you, he's just making a factual statement. You're sexy, and she goes really? You think so? I think it truly shocks her how other men view her sometimes, which is why when it came down to Taylor, she never really questioned it and everything, because once again, I don't think she ever experienced a guy chasing her and actively affirming her and telling her how beautiful she is until Nick did it. I can guarantee you her last relationship, she was used to the crumbs and the bare minimum, so she just took it on the shoulder when she stepped into the show with Taylor, right? And it was just a culture shock, a culture reset when it came down to Nick. And because it was such a culture reset for her, not only based off the fact that he's a white dude, looking out for a very beautiful dark-skinned woman like she is, but also with the fact that she's not used to somebody being in her face affectionate. Sierra, I'm so glad that we're on this date together. Who else would I be on a date with? Nobody? Wait, it actually upset you that me and Alandria, your supposed best friend, kissed? Really? How would I feel if it was you and Taylor? What kind of comparison? I mean, I guess if you put it that way. I understand that Alandria is your supposed best friend, but I'm sorry that was your best friend. I mean, I came into the villa for fun, shits and giggles. I wasn't expecting anything. I mean, I liked what I found, and I mean, your energy's great. Oh, are you my dream girl? But hey, because I'm such a coward, we might as well lock in. Why not? Why the fuck not? Hey y'all, it's Geek, aka Ali. I am a social and media commentator. And no, I do not have any credentials. I'm just a yapper like y'all that's putting a label on it. So I think we need to be a little bit realistic when it comes down to Alandria. It's not going to happen. At least not in a villa. Because these two people have made up their mind about the way that they're going to be moving for the rest of the season. I know there's a lot of challenges coming, and I know that this is definitely going to be like a big bump in the road for like, in particular for people like Nick and Sierra. But I feel like Sierra is going to absolutely be willing to forgive Nick because she's already so far gone. She's already locked in with him. She's already she has him. She has him, right? He initiated that conversation of closing off this time. He did. She didn't, right? And it was expected of him to do so, right? Which is why I think that he probably thought that the producers were pushing them to close off in the first place, which is why they even went on the date. So no, I don't think that it will happen. We might have some moments where it's like, oh shit, that kiss was intense. That is absolutely more than just friendship. And it more than likely will freak Sierra out. Maybe like a little bit. She might pull Iris aside, or hell, she might even pull like Shelly aside, or even speak to Olandria about it directly. But she's not going to freak out to the point where she's going to be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to Elon, or anything like that. She's not going to do that. Now, so far we've seen Sierra fairly cool, calm and collected, very much PR trained, and very much, I'm doing this for my marketing, and I'm not going to flip out or anything. I'm going to cry when I need to cry. I'm going to gasp when I need to gasp. I'm going to give your facial expressions when I need to give you your the facial expressions, right? We're going to see that crack a little bit after movie night. If, and I mean only if, the producers does show all the things that Nick was saying about Alandria and that kiss. What I feel like is going to happen, that we're definitely going to get a little bit of guilt tripping, a little bit of manipulation. Sarah may, put on the waterworks. She might be crying and tearing up and just walking around the villa very sad and mopey. She's going to be laying it on a little thick. I feel like she's going to be very mopey and like talk to Iris about it, and maybe Shelly. And I feel like she might even talk to Alandria a little bit in depth about it as well, because the thing is, I still don't think Sierra found Alandria to be competition or a threat at all. She admitted that, yeah, it made her uncomfortable, but it was more of the concept of like, that's my girl, It wasn't of the concept of, oh, Alandria is fucking gorgeous. I should feel slighted by that, Now, there's a very small possibility of like Nick and Alandria having to actually watch the scene, then like being a part of the scene to like notice a few things about that entire situation, to where maybe, and I mean a very, very small percentage of maybe, Alandria will see what was in front of her, and maybe Nick will be brave enough to go like, damn, I still kind of want to explore this. That's a very small possibility. Very small. I don't want you guys to hope for that, because I actually don't think that's going to happen. That's just a little headcanon in my mind. I actually have so many headcanons of Nick and Alandria. It's actually kind of crazy. So if you want those, definitely let me know. But like 8 times out of 10, being fairly certain, the movie night, any of the feature challenges that might happen won't break Sierra and Nick. It won't. Sierra got to play the game and she got what she wanted. Nick got to lock in with somebody that he felt safe with and comfortable with. There's like literally no reason for them to break that, unless, another headcanon for you guys, Alandria decides to say, fuck it, I'm going for what I want, and tells Nick that she actually is interested. She's opened up her eyes and she actually wants him. Food for thought. Food for thought. I like to pay attention to details, and I could just tell that the way that Nick was like extremely uncomfortable when Taylor was explaining how disrespected he felt by Alandria during that whole letter opening moment. And I thought it was really interesting, right? Because the way that Nick was probably thinking, who are you feeling like? What do you mean by that? He did not comfort his homeboy that entire scene. What he did do, though, is cross his arms, lean actually kind of away from Taylor, and then pretty much side-eye him with his lips pressed together. Yeah, literally giving that boy side eyes. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that they realize this, once again, but Nick, you're on TV. Do you know that we can see you and how you react to things? Do you know that? I think Nick is trying to be really careful with the way that he supports Alandria because of what him and Sierra has. And like, let me explain. Like last night when the question was asked, who is the most genuine girl in a villa? And Nick immediately, and I mean immediately with a swiftness, says, Alandria. I think that's just pretty much him supporting her in his own way. Like, he didn't have to ponder on it. He didn't have to think about it for even just a second. As soon as the question was asked, he was already leaning in and telling the boys, yo, let's go ahead and vote Alandria for first place. Also, I do think that it speaks volumes that all the men pretty much agreed with him. Like, there was no disagreement at all. Like, I know his support may not be, like, loud, but I think that's literally because of him and Sierra, like, first of all, being newly closed off and everything, is still trying to figure out their relationship. But obviously, he still cares about the girl. And crumbs like that is exactly why I still support Nick and Alandria, despite them not really interacting with each other. Because no matter what, Nick still obviously cares about Alandria.